This is Mastering Component Stairs in Autodesk Revit Architecture. And as Corrine said, my name is Martha Hollowell. My formal title is Senior Instructional Designer. And I have been working with Revit since version 5, I think as it is, version 5. So I've been in it for a number of years. My background is in architecture. I worked in architecture for a number of years before moving into the training world, which then got me into the whole instructional design world. So what we're going to do today in this is actually cover a part of a chapter from our Revit Architecture Fundamentals book. This is a chapter 12 on vertical circulation. We're going to look at 3 main components in this particular time of webcast, creating assembled stairs, modifying assembled stairs, and working with railings, specifically with stairs. So let's start at the very beginning, creating assembled stairs. Assembled stairs are created from 3 components. They have the runs, the landings, and the supports. And these are actual elements, and they're smart parametric elements that you can use as you are creating these assembled stairs. There's a number of things that need to be set up before you get into this point. And so here I just want to show you a little bit about the interface that we're going to be using. When we start the stair command, you're actually come in, you've got the Modify Create Stair choices over here. And the typical thing you want to do is just start and draw. That's what I like to do anyway. But there are actually several things that you need to do to set up to make sure your stair is going to be the right stair. First of all, you need to set up the type of the stair. This is critical right here. So you can see assembled stair. I'm using the default in this particular case. Once you've set that, it's going to impact all of your other options that you have. So then you go ahead down here into Properties, set up the level, which level is it from. You can set base and top offsets. Number 3 over here is the railing. You can select which railing you actually want to have for this set of stairs. And then you'll come down here to this bar right here, the Options bar, and this is where we actually set what we're going to draw from, if we're going to use an offset, width of it, and a very important one called Automatic Landing. You'll see that in a minute when I do it. Then you can go ahead and start drawing your runs. So to do that, let me just go ahead and switch to Revit. Let's see, there it is. And I am just going to open a new architectural template. Excuse me if it's taking a second. Sometimes when you are online, it takes a little bit. I'm also going to create a default 3D view. I actually want to have a floor plan view and a 3D view open at the same time. And I am typing WT, that means window tile. So if you want to quickly get your windows tiled, that's it. I'm going to draw a wall first, mainly because I need to know where's my 3D view. So here we go. There it is. There's my wall. And now when I start drawing some stairs, you'll be able to see. Okay. So here I'm going here to start the stair command. I know that I'm actually got my runs here that I'm ready to work with. Come over here. I can choose. As I mentioned, first of all, choose this one. And these 3 stair types are very different, so you do need to make sure you're picking the right stair. I'm just going to use the defaults right now. You can see level 1, level 2. And my levels right now are 10 feet apart. Come on over to my railing. There's choices. These are the ones that actually come with just the default template. And of course, we'll see later that you can have some that are made specifically for this. And I'm just going to, again, use the default. Treads and stringers is where you can have the railing. We're going to do stringer. I'm going to do stringer in this one. Click OK. Now what I want to do is select the location line. The location line can be just from the center line of the stair run. So when you're thinking about it, it's going to be the run. If you are working against a wall, you can use like the exterior support left. And so we could have the supports that are along the side of the run. Or left, and that'll be not including the support, and then of course right. And again, I'm just going to start with some real basics here. I'm not offsetting it from anything, but you can use this to offset from the wall. So say, for example, you had a wall feature that you wanted the stair to line up with, but you didn't want it to touch the wall. You could actually use the offset here. And then you can set your actual run width. I'm going to come in here and make it 3'6". Now, I do have automatic landing selected, and that is a pretty critical one. Landings can be sketched, and you can do all sorts of things with landing, but I can tell you automatic landing is the easiest, and I'll talk a little bit later about how to make it work and be more customized. So now I'm ready to actually draw my stairs here, and you can see, if I zoom in enough, hopefully you can see the light gray. 9 risers, 9 remaining. If I come out here, you probably have seen this before, the simplest stair is just a straight stair. You just pull out here and you pick. I'm going to go ahead and make a U-shaped stair with even sides for a moment. So there we go, 9 risers, 9 remaining. There's lots of alignment lines that are very helpful when you're drawing stairs. One of them here is, you can see I'm coming that extension off the existing stair. And so in my U-shaped stair that I'm creating, I can just go here. Now you can see I have my components. So there's a run. Here's the landing. You can see it's showing up here on my 3D view as well. Let me turn that around a little bit better. There's my stair. These are the supports on the side here. There we go. There's one of the supports. Those were actually set up within the style that you chose of the stair style. I'm going to click OK, or finish. I always want to say click OK. And there we have my stairs. We have the railings already done, all of the things in place. So those are the most basic things. We have just the most basic parts of creating a stair, using the components that are in it. Some of the components are set within the type, and some of the components can be assigned, like the railings. Well, let's go ahead and talk about modifying the stairs, because creating a stair is fairly simple, but where the really important part comes is when you start modifying. So we're going to talk about modifying the runs and landings, using properties and controls, and also converting things to sketches so you can create more custom shapes. So here you can see an example of a set of custom stairs. This was done creating just a basic straight stair with a landing in between and a straight stair. But then we've gone ahead and we've changed the width of the stair, and we've done a lot of work here on the landing, changing the width of the landing and adding a curved feature that you have to do by doing the customization. Now, when you select the stair, just right as it's in the view window there, you can flip the stair direction. So this is a flip right here, if you can see that. You can also change the width of a run. So you can see here this 4 foot. I could actually change that width as I'm editing the stair. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at that. So here it is. Here's my stair. Watch it on the right. You can see there it does. It's doing my flip up and down. Very, very powerful tool, very simple to use. Also, while I'm still having it selected, I can go ahead and, let's get it, oops, hit my tab key, and there you can see I selected 1 step down. So I'm still in the full stair, but I selected 1 step down, and I can come in here and actually change my dimension length. So I'm not going to do that right now because it might mess things up for my next step that I'm doing. The next thing I need to do, though, is I want to edit the stairs. I want to go back in and do more with it, with the components. And so let me just flip back on my slide for a minute. Here we go, here, editing the stair components. And as you can see here, I think it's a little easier to see on this than when I actually do the demo. We can, once again, change the width of the stair. We cannot change the length, though. So the stair components are not changeable. It's telling us what it is, but it is not changeable. we have these grips right here, the controls, and I'm going to show you how these controls are different. Very important part of working with them as well. So let's just go back in here. And to edit the stairs, I can double-click on it, or I can click Edit Stairs. So nice feature and a lot of things that you can do now in Revit Architecture, the most recent version, lots of new double clicks. So just be aware that you can set the double clicks, and you can, a lot more things can double click and be the things you want. So here we are now in the component stairs again. All the things that I'm going to show you, you can do after you've completed it and then come back and edit it, or you can actually just do this before making any final choices to the stairs. You can do all of this at either time. So I want to go in here now and show you this tool, these two tools right here. This one right here is going to change the end of my run, and by doing so, it's working in a parametric way that it shortens the other end. So you can see here, this one was automatically shortened when I lengthened this one. But if I choose this one, notice there was no change to that one. And also, over here, you can see my relative height, base, and things like that are not exactly what I'm expecting. What's happened here is it moved it up, but it did not change the top to bottom. It did not work in the same way that you were expecting the other one to work, most likely. So I'm just going to come back here and bring that out to where it needs to be, and we can come back in and change the lengths as needed. So the component stairs, do be careful when you're working with them, and watch out for that. I found it very easy to hit the little round one when I was expecting to hit the arrow grip, so do be careful with that. Let me just also show you some of the other grips. The side grips on the runs are where you can move to change it as well. So I could have gone ahead and modified it with a temporary dimension, but I also just used these grips. The grips are also available when you select the landing. So for example, this landing does look awfully tight for such a big stair, and so I can just grab that out. This one right here modifies the landing so it comes away from the stair. When I moved the stair, the run part, it actually moved the landing with it, but this one moves the landing without the run. And this one can actually move the landing so it's out into the stair. The stair knows that it needs to be there, or the run, excuse me, the run knows that it needs to be there, and so it has worked in that way as well. Now, another thing that we can do is customize these stair components. What I just showed you there using the various grips and the dynamic dimensions and things, those were all where it stayed completely parametric. When we get to the customizing stair commands, we're actually going to break them down into sketches, and then we can do more work. So here you can see a landing that's been modified, and here's the sketch. So let's take a look at that in our example here. I am going to go ahead and modify the landing. So instead of using my grips, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to convert it. I'm going to convert it to sketch-based. Now watch out when you're doing this, because converting it means that's it. It's not going to go back to your component parts. That is what I want to do in this case. Just if you get a little bit too far and you start getting it more of a mess than is helpful, sometimes it's just easier to go back in and redraw it. So, erase everything and redraw. But here I now have it in a component. You can see that I don't have any grips available, but I'm not yet down to the sketch. So I can double click on it. It gets me to the sketch. I also had a place on the ribbon I could have hit edit. So I'm going to come in here now. I'm going to change the boundary because in this case I'm working on a landing. And I'm just going to go ahead and add a radius in here. So I'm going to take a start, and let's do a 10-foot radius there. Your sketches need to be closed. So anytime quite often, like with floors and types of roofs, your sketches need to be closed. Same thing here with a landing. So I'm going to delete that extra line that was in there. And when I finish, click Finish Edit Mode, there is my landing. And when I click Finish Edit Mode again, there's my landing and there's my railings as well. Now, I think I probably did move a little something here, so we've got a little bit of run problems. That's one of those cases where I probably would go in and start from scratch again because of the changes that I've made. Well, the next thing that we probably want to do once we're trying to customize the stairs is get the railings that we want. So we're going to look here at modifying railings that were created with stairs. There's a couple of things you can do. One of them is the easiest. You just change the type. And you can see in my example here on the slide, one of them is a different style than the other. So we have two different types that are going on. Another thing you can do is you can edit the path of the railing, and you can also set extensions. That's actually going to be done in the type, railing type, or actually the handrail type or the top rail type, and I'll show you that in a minute too. Yes, here's a couple more. So we're going to edit the railing sketch first so you can see how that is done, and then I'll come back in and do some more. So let's say right now you're working on this stair and somebody's decided to stick a column in. Whoops, let me just get a bigger one here. We'll do an architectural one. Nice big column right here, and it's right in the middle of my stairs, but I want the railing to go around the column rather than on the outside of the column. So I'm going to come in here and select my railing. You can see there I've got it right there. I'm going to edit the path, and once more I could have double-clicked it if I wanted to. I'm going to use an offset, so I'm going to use pick lines. I'm going to offset this 3 inches. Don't forget to use an inch mark when you're typing on that. I have done 3 feet very frequently. And I'm going to have it offset to the outside of this column, here and here. And then I'm just using my trim extend commands to clean it all up. So there I have edited the sketch of my railing. And railings are open sketches, not closed sketches. So if you try to make it so that it's complete, it won't work. You'll also cannot do 2 separate sketches in one sketch. So if you want 2 separate railings, you're going to need to just delete one sketch and then start the railing command again and do another. So here I am going to click Finish Edit Mode, and there's my railing, and it goes around. Well, let's say that's not the railing style I want, so I'm just going to select the railing again, come over here, and I'm just going to do a guardrail. It's the pipe guardrail, and you can see I've got the change that's there. Now, there's still another part of working with these railings that's pretty important, and that is editing the top rail or the handrail, and mainly, in this case, the extension styles. This is something new that came out in the previous version. They've kind of cleaned it up a little bit now, so you do have a little bit better access to this. So let's go ahead and take a look at how we do that. I'm going to come over here. When I select the railing, it selects all parts of the railing. But if I hover over it, I can tab and select just the top rail. Or since this is actually a guardrail, that was the top of the guardrail, I can tab and also get the handrail. So in this case, I'm going to show you how to do this with the handrail part of it. The handrail and the top rail are separate entities, and they can therefore be modified separately. You can see here in my properties, I have a handrail type, and I'm going to come here and edit the type. And as you saw just a minute ago, the extension styles that are available, they can be for wall, floor, or post. And I'm going to go ahead and use floor here. And right now, I'm just going to do the beginning, so I'm just changing this first part of my railing. I need to go ahead and specify a length, otherwise it would go directly down right at this point. Usually you do need to go out and have some length that's going out there. Depending on what you need, you can add that plus the tread depth. You would see how that works best. There's also something else you can add, and that's a termination. And there's a basic little wood rectangle that comes in. And once again, I'm just going to do the beginning bottom for this. Click OK, and there you can see the change to my handrail separate from anything else. So this is just on this one handrail, and I have the changes made to that end. And whoops, there you go, there you go. It's not made on this end, but I could go ahead and do that. Now, all of these that I've just shown you are really fairly simple little things, or at least they're the basics of what you absolutely need to know. So what I want to do now is just do a little bit more work with creating the stairs and railings. And to show you this demonstration, I'm actually going to use the practice from the this chapter, the chapter 12 that's in the Revit Fundamentals. So first of all, I am going to come in here and open the file. And excuse me just a second. I don't have the access to the file that I wanted. Sorry about that. I meant to check that and forgot. Excuse me just a second. We are in an ASCENT webinar. There we go. All right, so here is our stairs and railings thing that we're going to use. You'll notice here I have a number of floor plans already. I have one that has the floor for stair 1 and stair 2. This is a call-out, so I'm going to zoom in on this and get into my call-out view. Now, I'm finding this a little busy to work in when I'm working with my stairs, so I'm going to select one of the grids and one of the elevation markers, and I'm going to hide these in this view by category. Whoops, I must have missed this one. Hide and view by category. And because I don't like my door not to show the whole swing, I'm going to just move that out as well. Now, I want to go ahead and draw a stair in this much more tight space than what I was working on. I've got walls I need to come up against and things like that. So I'm going to start my stair command, and I'm going to go and first select my stair. Now, in this case, we have actually created some hotel stairs that would fit in here a little bit better. So I'm going to use the hotel stairs type that we created for this practice. And you can see here that I'm going from floor 1 to floor 2, and my height right now is 18 feet. That's because the first floor to the second floor is quite tall in this particular one. I'm now going to come over here to my railing, and again, we have created some railings here, and you're going to see that I'm going to need a different railing style for my first floor that's going to be separate from my second floor. So you can see here I have the hotel stair guardrail for floor 1 and one for floor X for the other ones. And this just happens to be that because of the height of the floors and the changes that I want to make to these guardrails, I did need to create two different styles for the railing. So I'm going to use guardrail floor 1, and I'm going to put it on my treads. My location line, I'm going to now use the exterior support left. So I want it to be on the outside. I'm going to run it along this wall right here. I'm not going to use any offset, but I am going to go ahead and set the width here to 3'8". And of course, like I said earlier, I'm using an automatic landing. Now, one other thing I'm going to do in this particular case before actually drawing my runs is I'm going to use a reference plane. So I came over and selected my place reference plane command, and I'm going to draw a reference plane, and I want it to be 4 feet off the back wall. So I just drew it. I'm coming in here using dynamic dimensions, getting it into my 4 feet. What I'm doing there is leaving the room for my landing that I wanted to have right here. And in previous versions, I had to do a lot of prepping for this. You know, like, how long is the run going to be, and where do I need to put all of my reference planes and things like that. Much easier now because we have the component stairs, and as you'll see just a second, I'm going to be able to move each component easily. So I'm all ready now to do my run, and I'm just doing a straight run right now. You can see those have all been set up. I'm going to pick a point close here to the door. I'm not really worrying exactly where it is. I'm going to pull it up till it meets just about to that reference plane. You can see it's not touching it yet, but don't worry, I can fix that easily. Now the other run, I do want to start at the reference plane, and again, you can see instead of in the center as in my other demo, I'm actually doing it here on the side of the wall, and there I have my length. Now I'm going to come in here and notice that this is not lining up, and also this is number 15. In this case, I actually do need to have 16 steps on this side so that it will work appropriately. So I'm just going to come in here, use this. So I've lengthened that, it shortens that, so that's down to 31, and there I'm at my 16. The other thing I'm going to do here is select my run, use the move command, and grab the corner of it and move it up. Make sure I'm getting that intersection to the intersection of the wall. Now I can do that because the run is a complete entity. So that is a really helpful thing that you can do. I'm going to hit Finish Edit Mode, and there I have my stairs. Now to see more that's going on, I'm going to come in here and create a camera view, the tight space. So I'm coming back here into the furthest most corner that I can, create my camera view. And when I create camera views, quite often I'll just take it and then really do my work more actually in the view itself so you can see the ending items. Now here I do have the situation where I certainly don't need a guardrail on the wall side, so I'm going to select that, change it to my hotel stair handrail, and again I am doing it for floor 1. So I can change it, and you can see there it's coming around the corner, and it's actually got its own ending right there that it's coming around the corner that's working in right there. Now let me go ahead and do something on the second floor because I want to show you the power of being able to use multi-story stairs. So I'm going to come here to floor 2. I don't actually have a call out of that, so I'm just going to come in here and zoom in. You can see there's floor 1 stairs below. There is a floor on this part of the drawing, so I don't want to, that's why I'm not seeing the entire stair. Again, I'm going to clean it up a little bit. I can hide in view category. I could have also done a temporary hide in view. Either way works, depends on what else you're using this for. So now I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm not going to talk through every single little step, but I'm going to do almost the exact same thing I did before. I'm using my hotel stairs. It's remembering a lot of the previous choices, so that's good. I do want to change my railing here, though. I want that to be the floor X one. I'm going to also add in, there's reference plane. I'm going to add in my reference plane. Here right now, this might be something you run into occasionally. It's not automatically coming off my back wall. I'm going to drag that little line right there, the witness line, and I'm tabbing to make sure that it's going on the wall. And then I can go ahead and use the dynamic dimension or temporary dimension. Doing my run. Don't need to get so far down this time. I only have 12 feet between floors here. I'm going to do nearest pick. Again, didn't worry too much about it. Pick. So there's my lines, and in this case I need to get 1 through, let's see, 11. So again, I need to make a change here in my run, down 1 step, and I need to zoom in here and move it so it's going to line up correctly. All right. And once again, selecting it. I now have this stair. I'm going to zoom in. Whoops, I just lost my, sorry about that. Wrong button. There we go, back to my view. My plan was to get to the camera there. So I'm going to make my camera view again, come on in here, and zoom out a bit, or open the view right here. Now, in this particular case, I'm going to hide this railing that's coming up because I'm not going to work with it at the moment. But this is a place where you may, if you are adding railings, you'll be able to see the added railing that's right there. But right now, I'm just going to hide that in view. Now, this time I'm picking element because if I hit category, all my railings would go, and we don't want that. So here I have the railing. Again, I'm going to change that from a guardrail to my handrail. And you can see there it comes in exactly as I'm expecting it. And then I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to, in this case, I'm going to make a change to the end of this one. I want to do it on the handrail, so I am tabbing until I am selecting the handrail. You can see that. And similar to the other demonstration I did, I'm going to change this so that it's going to be a floor, it's coming out 1 foot, and it's going to have a terminator. But I'm also going to do it on the top of it. So I'm going to have it not just on this end, but also on the other. I'm going to do floor, 1 foot, and terminator. When I click OK, whoops, you know what? I picked the wrong one. Something's wrong. Oh, there we go. Sometimes it's operator error when you have problems within Revit. So there I have my ending right there. Now I'm going to zoom or move down to a section view, an east-west section view, and you can see here there's my first floor set of stairs. Here's my second floor. But here's the power of working with Revit. I'm going to select this stair, and I'm going to change and get a multi-story top level. And I'm going to change that to floor 8. So like that, I now have all of my stairs going up. If I come back to a view right here, like if I go here ahead and look at floor plan 5, you can see there it is. There's my stair that's coming on up, and it's going to be there on floor 7. And once again, in this case, I have actual floor elements. So another step in the practice is actually cutting out the floors so that these work. So there's our stairs. And there's, of course, a lot more to learn, but these are the best ones. This is the stuff that if you get this down straight, all the rest of your stairs are going to be a lot easier. So what I've done here in this particular webcast is we've created component-based stairs with runs and landings and supports. We've modified the runs and the landings of the stair assemblies using properties and controls. And oh, by the way, I just want to, some people go, well, what is it? Is it component-based or is it a stair assembly? Well, it's made of components. The command is actually component stairs, but when they're created, it's a stair assembly. So you may not need to know that, but there's your little factoid for the day. So we also converted stair components to sketches so we could create custom shapes, and modified railings that were created with stairs. And we applied much of what we learned here to creating a multi-story stair. Now, as I mentioned, this was just kind of the beginning of what you can find in the ASCENT training guides. I just want to go over some of the ones that are available in the Autodesk Building and Architecture arena. We do have AutoCAD Architecture, and that is an Imperial book, and it is released. But in the Revit area, we have a lot of training guides. First of all, we do have our Revit Architecture Fundamentals, which is what this particular webcast came from. and that's both an imperial and metric. It's definitely one of our longest classes. It's an intense class with a lot of information. We have similar ones for Revit MEP and structure that, again, take some of the basics of Revit in general, but then also include all of the MEP features and the structure features that you need. Additionally, for Revit Architecture, you have Conceptual Design and Visualization, which is a one-day class, and Site and Structural Design, which is a one-day class. And that one, by the way, the structural design in there is just kind of the basics. It's not all of the Revit structure that you would get in the main Revit structure fundamentals. We have a Revit Structure Advanced class, but most of that, by the way, is going to be rolled in next year into a blend of the fundamentals and what you see up here in Revit Platform collaboration tools. So BIM management and collaboration tools can be taught for any of the platforms. So they can be taught for architecture, MEP, or structure. You can have everybody in one class that's learning it, or you can focus on your particular discipline that you're working in. So there's practices for each of those disciplines and things like that. And there's also a Revit for project managers, which lets project managers touch Revit and see the power of it. But of course, you don't necessarily want to have project managers doing all of the Revit part. They might come in and mess up your good drawings. So you don't want to have that happen. But those are our training guides. These are product lineups. And I am going to now turn it back to Corrine, and she's going to tell you a little bit more.
Wonderful. Okay, thanks, Martha. I just wanted to let everybody know, if you go to the next slide there, that all those titles that Martha talked about are available in the following formats. So our pre-printed guides, our pre-printed format we call our student guide is available. That's a photo of it on the left. We have an electronic ebook format, and we also have instructor tools, which are really great for those of you who are teaching the course. And everything can be purchased on our ASCENT eStore, so that's that first link there, ascentestore.com. You can also go to our website, ascented.com, or ascented.com, which is the bottom link. From the website, you can look at table of contents, sample chapters, the pricing is there, the page count is there, and it also links you directly to the eStore. And Martha's one of our bloggers, so I do encourage you to follow her as well. You can go right to the ASCENT Ed website and follow her from the homepage.